Who would like to give a nice little summary of what transpired last week?
Last week, we traveled between the spheres, made crystals, tried to teach the crews, failed, tried to make a new gun, made the exact same one, made a bunch more money, and have now just arrived at the flat Earth and dropped off a bunch of pilgrims who paid us in gems. And that's where we left off.
How long was our journey?
It was 20 days from Darganov to Khatun, and then 110 to Opina. So 130? 100, yeah.
Are we going to count any time for restocking?
We did that in Khatun.
And you're hoping you can do it here in
Right.
Opina.
That is the hope. If not, piracy.
And I know you've been tracking the money there, Cookies, so you can dock the requisite sums. Of course, you saw the outlay of cash to try to offset that.
What's the name of the flat Earth sphere?
It's on the screen.
Right. If I zoom in.
The tablet has it.
Yep, Opina.
Opina. Yep.
We aren't in Kansas anymore. Are you trying to make like a map? Or are you just recording where we've been?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm recording lots of things right now. I'm attempting to compute how much money we spent and gained.
That's always a good one.
On that topic, Leon, I believe you were going to pick an option for what you sought. Had you decided?
Yes. I will take the resilient feat.
Okay.
I believe that's what it's called. Let me double check.
Nate, my comment earlier about the trained crew is relevant because they cost more money too.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's part of why I'm having it based on the actual downtime activity training rules as well.
Okay.
Because then you succeed at increasing their skill and your costs go up instead of arbitrarily doing it. If you'd rather do it the other way, that's fine.
No, it's kind of cool, the downtime.
Because, I mean, if they were all green, I would have them go to, veteran, sure, after, just experience and stuff, and you could accelerate it based on training. But training them to be crack crew makes more sense because you have to teach them the inner workings of your ship.
Yeah.
So I thought it made kind of sense to do, so that's kind of what I was doing. But I'm open to negotiations on the topic.
And yes, it is called resilient. Basically, resilient boosting con. So what this feat does is gives me +1 to a stat of my choosing, and I am now proficient in saves with that stat. So now maybe I won't spend entire combats poisoned.
That's definitely fitting. You spent part of your downtime on the trip focusing on honing it after your initial delivery from the, let me find his name. Gili.
And also that +1 Constitution has bumped up my Constitution score to 14, so yay, 6 more hit points.
Hey, that's an extra hit from a longsword.
Yes.
That is.
So now I'm slightly less squishy.
At least you're not the primary tank of the party anymore. So, without further ado, you are in Opina.
Woo!
You
Yay.
passed by the Garganoff sphere so that you didn't have to worry about trying to pay for passage and stuff to get through customs. And the Opina sphere has no ships in the area. There's nothing. There is just a sphere of light and dark, and this flat sphere that this flat like disc that floats around, and that is where you guys landed.
Is it rotated at all?
Yeah, it goes around like normal planet would within a sphere.
It orbits something.
If
but
there was, it basically looks like it's orbiting, but there's nothing there.
Let's not go to the center of the sphere. Magic and all, but still, if it is orbiting a super high mass, let's not go through the middle.
You can take the skiff.
No, he can't. He can take the umbrella.
Oh, wow.
It'll get there.
It's cold.
Well, he literally can't take the skiff unless
Someone's trained it. I can do
someone drives him, because Mr. Giff does not have the magical aptitude required to drive us.
That
Any sort of
is an
spell jam.
important factor.
Mr. Gibb
All of
can't
the
drive.
thrust in piloting requires magical aspects of some sort. Well, that's not true. There is the life jammers of the flesh dealers that just drain your life. There is that.
It seems like they're trying to compensate.
Death Helm.
So, yeah, no. I know you're all looking forward to getting to have more fun with the flesh dealers. They're your favorite.
Okay.
It's our ultimate goal, is to make their life miserable. I mean,
I thought you were going to join their empire and sell your family off to them.
well, as soon as I find a reverse alignment shrine, I might do that. Maybe that should have been my boon instead. I'd like my alignment reversed, so it'd be a little bit more fun.
Oh,
It might
don't
just
know if
shorten
I'd
your
call that fun.
lifespan.
Yeah. All right, so what would you all like to do?
So, we heard that there's a dwarven town in need of help. Do we drop the pilgrims off at like a town or just in like the middle of nowhere?
There's a port.
Okay,
Um,
so we're in the port.
it's one of the few locations. There's one on the top and one on the bottom of this disc, and there's buildings on either side of some sort, it looks like, or mounds, not buildings. It's just mountain peaks and stuff. There's no buildings on the surface of the planet that you
Lovely.
can see. The two exceptions are the spaceport have a bit of construction around the area where ships can land. There's both a land and a water-based location for ships to land, and this is the only water you see on the planet as well.
Okay.
It is literally dirt and rock, earth on both
It's a
What a
sides.
lovely
place,
place
guys.
for a dwarf.
What'd you say, Cookie?
This is a weird place, guys.
Welcome to
Also-
Spelljammer. You finally got to one of the
Also-
real ones.
We have 40 days worth of food left.
Don't worry, it's only a 90-day trip back if you can't find any.
Right.
So the port doesn't actually have any buildings or anything with like we could resupply or anything.
There's a few buildings, but very, very few. There's not much
Okay.
there.
Do they
However,
even know
there is
that there is a
Hmm?
sphere? But like, there is a port, so they're expecting Spelljammer ships occasionally.
Right.
It is a place where people took a pilgrimage to.
Huh.
I wanted to put on record that I last week wanted to stop in Garganoff to resupply.
It is true.
Just throwing that out there. So when we starve to death, not my fault.
Keep in mind, it wouldn't have made a huge difference. It would have only added 20 days.
So 2/3 the journey instead of half.
Well, guess what? We might not be able to return to Garganoff, but you know what? There might be another connecting sphere that has civilization if we get desperate. That may be within 60 days, but not 40.
Speaking of which, Cleoc, would you please roll me a d4?
Oh.
So now it'll be your fault if we starve to death because there's no spheres.
Fine, I will roll a d4. It's a 2.
Upon hearing discoveries at port, you will find that there is only one additional sphere connected to this sphere.
There's some god of the multiverse that is letting us plot the universe. It's kind of scary.
That's true. It's very scary.
It might have been very bad if I'd rolled a 1 there.
Mm-hmm.
No, it would have been fine.
I'm sure.
It would have been fine. We would not have.
Our ship would have arrived probably before we starved to death.
Does anyone have crate food and water?
Besides, we could dismiss the crew, at least some of them.
You're assuming that works in wild space. Or not wild space, in Phlogiston. Wild space it would work, in Phlogiston it won't. Wild space is within a sphere, Phlogiston is outside the sphere. This Phlogiston,
Right.
there's not a whole lot that works quite the same.
Okay, that's annoying.
So, you'll... 90+% of your encounters will actually happen within spheres. In wild space. Unless you find them on a planet, because then, yeah, you can find plenty there. But while on your ship flying around, most of them are going to take place in wild space. The probability of them
Okay.
happening in the phlogiston is very minimal.
Okay. Well, if there's anyone around, I'd like to try and figure out where this dwarven town is that has been taken over by something.
Of course.
That's a good plan.
I feel like I should roll for this investigation check.
Cookie's interested
Depends
in
on how you're
looking
trying to
if
do
there's any food markets available.
What language do you speak?
Common Dwarvish. Dwarven.
Because I'm pretty sure none of you know the languages that all the signs are written in. But feel free to post or state your languages, and I'll tell you if anyone says it.
Sylvan and Infernal?
Nope.
I mean,
I'm just gonna post it in chat.
Are there any pictures,
I think it'd be pretty amusing.
or is it just words?
Nope. I believe
Does
it
anyone
does
have
use the
copy?
Dwarven script for their language. Let me
Oh,
verify.
I am a dwarf. Do.
Who's got to comprehend languages?
Let me open up my sheet. See if that's one of my extended spells that I can have if I sleep.
Common, Goblin, Giant.
Yep, they use the Dwarvish script, but it is not Dwarvish. So you could recognize the stylistic runes of the dwarves, Yanaven, but it makes no sense.
Is it Giant?
No, otherwise I would
Okay.
have said so, because you said giant.
That's fine. I wasn't sure you heard me.
Okay. Well, I can read the words, but it's not in a usage I'm used to where I recognize the characters, but the words are not of the dwarven language.
Huh. You know, it's possible that this Wand of Wonder could help us here. It's also quite probable that it won't.
Can I do a straight intelligence check to see if I can figure out how language, since it is using the dwarven script, see if I can piece together a word or two?
Sure.
Baden's curious about just what language it is, if he can use his broad classical learning.
No, I cannot. It's a 9.
Oh, don't worry, it was a very high DC.
I know. That's why I was hoping
It's
for
an
that nat
exotic
20.
language. Let me see what was posted in chat.
Hey, Nurisil knows a lot of things. Let's go ask him.
I actually think this is one he doesn't know.
Cleo could try. He knows Dwarvish too.
And you do hear most of the people here actually speaking the language as well. That sounds Dwarvish, but Yanavan confirms it's not Dwarvish. He can't understand what they're saying. It has some similarities in the tonalities, some of them, but it's not Dwarvish at all.
Yeah, this is also a dwarven pilgrimage spot. So it's like it's ancient dwarven or some early descendant of
Yet,
it.
nope, Nersil doesn't know.
Does he know comprehend languages?
Don't believe so.
Squeaks or Cookie would probably be your best bet for that.
I almost took that as a utility spell. Almost.
You haven't seen Cookie in action yet, have you?
Nope.
So he's playtesting a class of his own making.
Oh boy.
That is bred for chaos.
So Cookie might be able to cast it, or he might not, and weird things might happen.
Well, you know,
Either way.
TPKs by the party is not my fault.
That is true.
Let's see. Cookie knows transformations. Hard to argue that language is a transformation.
You're transforming the language into one you can read.
It's more of a mentalism.
That's
I would
fair.
argue it belongs to the school that Cookie doesn't have. I can't cast it at my level.
Okay.
That's not going to stop me from trying, though.
Oh,
Or
boy.
is it? Well, I don't really know what's going on.
I think we should try and actually talk to some of the people and see if anyone actually understands Yonovan before we get too crazy.
Keep in mind, some of the people who came with you were human. It was a full variant of species.
Hey, let's talk to the people who came with us and see if any of them know this language.
That sounds like a great plan.
So after a while, you find one of them again.
Hey, friend, do you know what these people are talking here?
He looks at you kind of weird. Of course.
We don't seem to be able to communicate with them. What language is this?
The language of the earth.
Oh dear.
Oh, the language of Earth. That actually makes sense.
We forgot to pick that one up in school. It was an elective, but only offered in every other year.
Fifth, ninth.
While you're doing that, Mr. Baden, since you're doing the mapping, let's get that done so you guys have that on the chart, since you'll probably look for that next. Or at some
Okay.
point. It is 72 days to the next one.
Okay.
And let's see what's there.
Does anybody object to Cookie casting a spell?
Only if Nursel's there would he even consider it.
Is your wand already a +1 wand?
No. I'm not using a wand.
Oh, okay. Go for it then.
There we are. I'm gonna cast a 7th level spell,
That seems scary.
which is a little high.
7th.
See, Y is 6? Yeah. Alright. Can I have a d6 as well? Oh, whatever.
There's 6.
Okay, 5 and 19. Cookie starts reading his book intently, and a blue light surrounds him. And wow. Nothing unusual happens because there is no one who is his enemy nearby. And that's a really good thing.
What does it say? It may or may not be the case.
Alright. Chaos targets foes within 30 feet of the caster. That's what the d6 did. The 19 targets gain. Roll a d12. 1. Targets gain plus 1d6 strength.
Holy crap.
3 strength for a round. Any foe within 30 feet of me.
Can I be your foe if I see you
Interesting.
casting a spell? And it's like no, don't. Just kidding.
When you punch him and knock his head off. I said don't! Oh no, I'm sorry, Cookie.
Wah, wah.
I'd actually still be using Dex for my attacks.
I updated the sphere for Opina.
That's pretty amusing. Flat Earth, no sun, language of the Earth. Woo!
It's also a rectangle instead of ellipse.
So I sent you the name of the next one. When you get in there, let me know and I'll refresh it on the table.
Okay, I do have it in here.
So after Cookie's spell goes off, a large being emerges from the ground. An earth elemental.
It's not refreshing.
I think it's because you have it loaded to a Discord picture.
I thought it was the...
Here, I'll get you the link. Try pasting that.
Nope, yep, it was Discord, that's why.
I got the view link in the chat.
Chat, where?
Main chat.
Oh, there it is. It just didn't show up on my end for a minute. Hey!
Great
Voila.
success.
So it looks like any of us can change the link in there.
Yeah, and people keep clicking it and making it reload.
I could just do a picture update.
Or people could just, not click it.
I mean, I was having fun with the bowling with D20s and player characters. Then you locked them into place.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, Cookie just summoned an Earth Elemental. I imagine we want to resolve whatever the heck is happening with that.
Yes, I can talk to the Earth Elemental, and the Earth Elemental can talk to them. See, now we have the language.
Except a lot of them had been speaking common when you talked to them. Like, the guy that rode on your ship.
I asked
But
my
hey, no, that's
elemental
fine.
friend,
You're walking around with
hey, can you see any signs that would talk about, food and supplies? Well, I mean, if you can't talk to me, at least you could lead me to one? Because I don't understand the
Let me
language.
see what the spell says. What is the spell exactly?
I'm basing it off of the Summon Conjure Elemental spell. It's an Earth Elemental of rating 5 or lower, appropriate to the area.
Okay, let's see here. He cannot speak common.
I didn't think so, but he can probably understand common.
It's more the magic tells him your intent, probably since he's a summon.
Okay. Well, then I asked him to lead me towards a shop that would sell supplies.
Okay. Roll an int check.
Okay.
I hope you fail because it could be fun and amusing.
Well, I'm only +0 to int checks, so
So it's likely, but
yeah.
Still, I'm giving you a shot.
7.
You are brought to a location that has quite a few supplies. Various clays and metals and gems.
Oh, basically what it thinks of as food. Oh, no.
You said supplies. You said bring you to where there were supplies. He brought you to where there'd be supplies he'd be interested in.
Ah. No. I want squishy human food.
looks at you. Roll an int check. Just roll a d20 and tell me what it is.
17.
Well, you have a -3 on the roll. So you barely make it. He's able to barely comprehend what you're saying and bring you to a location that seems to have more organic-based edibles.
All right. Now, like, how much food do I see around here? Do they have like a significant amount of supplies, or?
It seems like decent, but it also seems to be more of a staging room than an actual warehouse.
Uh-huh. All right. I try talking to the shopkeeper in common, if there is one.
You do notice that some other ships, or some people that you saw on another ship get off and are actually getting some supplies from here and are heading back to their ship. So there's a number of spots on the shelves that are fairly barren, as they also have to supply for a 72 to 90 day trip.
Right. Can I communicate with the shop owner in common?
You see this fairly built, gruff-looking guy who is in the corner. His skin is very dark. It almost somewhat sparkly in some spots, and he's sitting there in the corner, kind of looks to be shopkeeper position, since everyone else seems to be from other crews moving about, and he's not. And you notice he seems to not be looking at you. He's just staring off.
I'll
Have the earth elemental grab him by the neck and say, "You will pay attention to me."
Did you come with me?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Then I walk over and say hello in common.
Greetings, manling. What is it you want?
I need food for my ship. My elemental friend helped me. Large quantities of potatoes, bakeable goods, flours, beans, preserved meats.
No meats.
Okay.
Meats
And
is
water.
rare.
I understand.
Payment funds.
We have gems, we have credit, and we have some gold.
What is credit?
Shows him credit slips.
What is this? Dainty
Well,
thing. He hands it back to you,
something
kind
I
of
guess that.
looking at it really weird. He's not looking at it like he just has a weird look on his face.
Well, perhaps you will understand these.
He also hasn't really made eye contact with you, but at the same time seems to know exactly where you are and what you're doing.
Pretty disconcerting, but I keep going because he's my best hope at getting food. pull out a handful of the gems that we accumulated recently.
Acceptable
Will these
tender.
work?
So you want food and water for the how
Yeah.
long?
Well, ideally, I would get a quantity conventionally priced at 1,700 gold pieces. That's for your information, Nate.
Okay. So you can pay him the amount. The amount is slightly increased here, so
Uh-huh.
add a little bit of a surcharge on that.
How much? What sort of factor?
Roll a negotiation since you're the one dealing with him,
Okay.
and we'll see by how much it goes up.
Call that a persuasion check?
Sure.
Wish I was trained in persuasion.
Doran should have gone with you.
18. That's not bad.
Okay. It's a 10% increase due to your work.
Well, we don't have meat, but we have supplies to get back. Thank you very much. I asked my elemental to tell him thank you.
Indeed. The elemental makes like a sound of like grinding stones and stuff.
And I leave.
And he gestures to containers that you see some smaller earth elementals moving stuff around and placing them in an area that's marked out. There's your goods.
Thank you. And well, I get my elemental to help move it. And that'll probably just about take the span of the spell.
Well, I mean, you have Group and Ceradan.
Right. I'll go back and pick up them too.
And crew members whose it's job to, do the day-to-day things on the ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know.
So next up, we need to figure out where this town is.
Just for everyone's reference, I know we got 4,700 gold pieces, okay? Which is
Mhm.
great. We just spent 2,500.
That was half of it. We got that much in gems. We got 5,000 before that. But yes, the point still
I didn't
stands.
record that 5,000. What?
We got 5,000 for a trip from Garganov to Katoon, and 47 for Katoon to here. And the
Okay.
4,700 was in gems,
Okay,
with the
thank you.
gems
That's
listed
good.
above.
I believe all the information is in the Discord.
Yes, but I
It
missed
is.
that detail. Since I wasn't here.
And I like Yonovan's post there. So for the next 100 days, you get to have beans for dinner, and then beans for dinner, and then beans for dinner.
Maybe potatoes.
It's the weekend. You get to have potatoes, and then tomorrow's beans.
This is not going to help crew morale. I'm just saying.
Keep in mind, when you're in the
I was just thinking
Phlogiston,
about
there
that
is
too.
no fire to cook with.
We do.
No. No, you don't have fire to cook with in the Phlogiston.
And when we get back to somewhere civilized,
You can cook when you're in a sphere, But you do not want to cook in the phlogiston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't use
So
up
how
all
do
of
you?
our meat.
Yeah, that's for sure. Mm.
For the record, Cleoc does not taste like chicken. He's not very tasty.
Well,
For the record, how is this?
How do you know? Yeah, for the record, how do you know?
Do I need to roll deception, considering I
he's
don't know?
he is
Yes.
avian, but not all birds taste like chicken.
I don't taste like turkey either.
Well, seeing as you're
Okay.
eagle-based, from what we've seen, you probably would taste more like an eagle than a turkey
I hear
or
they
a
taste
chicken.
like chicken.
I mean, you
Oh,
also
I
have
heard
a
it tastes
hippo
like
in the
chicken.
party if you want to start talking about, cannibalism.
That's true.
It's like cannibalism if it's a different species.
Yes.
So, what next, gentlemen?
Mm. Shall we try and find the place we were looking for?
I don't know. I think shopping trip would be so much more fun, don't you?
Yeah. No.
Bane would like to look around and see if he can find anyone that talks common and ask about villages in the area. Any,
Jobs to do.
jobs and stuff.
Well, most of the people that you find are other ship crew. They're like, we usually just get our jobs here and fly back out. They do shipping of goods and tend to bring people back sometimes. And then sometimes
Okay.
they want certain other items brought back. Good luck. Get back. Sounds like Captain's getting ready to push off.
Well, have a good journey.
Good luck.
Thanks, we'll take it.
Sure. Like the last talk you had with the guy from your ship, he was headed inside one of the 4 mountains that are surrounding the dock area.
Okay. Well, we can always just start walking in somewhere, unless someone can speak the language.
Well, I mean, some of these people can speak common, so
That's
it's
true.
somebody had to post this bill,
Mm-hmm.
which we may or may not have actually gotten information from whomever posted it, and so our failure to prepare has sent us on a 90-day journey to, well, drop off pilgrims, but
Yeah,
we may
pretty
not
much.
actually have enough information to actually do this now.
Well, we still know there's
Do,
dwarves that need to be rescued from undead. / lich. Something.
do you remember the name of your contact? Do you remember the name of the town?
Those weren't mentioned.
I'm sure they were mentioned, but I didn't write them down. I'd have to go back to the video. The contact probably wasn't mentioned, but the town probably was. Actually, the town probably wasn't. But no, I don't believe we ever went and talked to a contact for that.
No.
So
We didn't.
So either you can seek around here to find out if anyone knows of anything on that topic. You can try to recall. You can just scratch it and try to look for other jobs or just fly out of here. Or you can come up with some other option that I haven't thought of. I'm open to suggestions and thoughts.
Let's go
Baden's gonna
hunting for
try
some
and
meat.
recall what exactly he was told about this job, about these poor dwarves.
The irony is, even if you had the feat that gave you perfect recall, it only works for a month.
I know.
Well, it's only been 4.
Yeah, that's true. It's a lot less useful in Spelljammer with these travel times.
Well, I mean, there is 18 day between 2 spheres.
Yeah. Is it far enough in the past to count as a history check?
That being said, it's still probably worth gathering information on it here.
Yeah.
Because it has been 130 days since we heard about the job. They could very well already be dead, in which we would be wasting our time.
Except in killing all the dead and looting the bodies. If they've all been turned to undead. Yeah, let's look for a broker. That sounds like a good idea.
How do you
Baden
seek to
can
do
help
so?
look for that. Talking to people, trying to find out if they ever get where they get jobs, if there's a job board, anything like that.
Keep in mind where you're currently at, where you haven't stated anything different, is on the dock areas where the last guy you talked to is also a deckhand.
Mm-hmm.
They were packing up and shipping back out fairly quick.
Okay, and there's 4 mountains around us,
Yes.
and someone walking back into the mountain.
People have already walked in there, yes.
Alright. I say let's go
Not,
walk
not
into the
the ones that look to be ship crew. Ship crew don't
Right.
tend... you haven't seen them go to the mountains.
Unless we remember something else, we're gonna have to go into the dwarven underground stuff.
What was your
Okay.
check? Did you roll it?
Me? No.
Oh yeah, I thought you said you were going to try to remember.
That'll be 15 unless you're adding history to that.
Nope. Int is just
Okay.
int.
Alright.
So you recall the town name that was mentioned was
Okay.
Grativik.
Yeah, can you put that in chat?
There you are.
Huh, that wasn't far. Okay.
So, what's everybody thinking?
Well, we're gonna have to go to town.
While Yonovan was doing that, Cookie was examining the path.
Yonovan? Baden?
I'm sorry.
Voices, haha.
Yeah. While Baden was doing that, Cookie was examining the path around to see what's most traveled. If there are 4 mountains, presumably there are 4 paths diverging from here.
They all look to be untraveled. They are hard stone. They are clear.
Well, Regardless, what I tried to do was an investigation as to which was more traveled. 22.
They all seem to be fairly equal.
Okay.
We did see some people going down one earlier. I say we go that way. And if we come across people, even if they don't speak common, we can ask them, Gartvik or whatever it is, however we say it.
Kurtovik?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And see if they can at least point us in that direction.
Well, we're bound to find it eventually. Maybe. Let's not get lost on
Exactly.
this planet, please.
I think that's a good idea.
It might just fall off.
On your way in, you didn't really see plant life or animal life.
It seems very desolate.
Wait. Is this planet just Earth
Maybe.
and some water? Do we see any water?
We
The
landed
docks.
in it.
Yeah. That's creepy.
It has mountains.
Yeah, so it has Earth.
It's okay, they speak Earthen here. Also known as, Terran.
Well, Donovan, which direction are you?
I wasn't the one looking.
Baden, which direction? Dang it, guys! Cut me a break.
We're just gonna have to keep working together so that assisting each other. Is it an investigation check? Or is it perception?
Depends what you're trying to do.
I'd say let's go away. The last person we saw heading towards the mountain.
Pick a direction. North, east, west, south.
They're mountain each direction.
Yep. Just 4 mountains.
Alright, let's go north, because that's always fun.
Go north, my son.
Are all
Okay.
the mountains at equal distance from us?
Pretty much.
Okay. Then yeah. North sounds good.
Okay. So you head north, and you
We
come
missed a movie
to...
quote. Sorry.
You come to these large stone doors that have writing on them. As there's no more people who are out there in the basic earthen tone garb, you do see that the doors are shut.
Okay. Wanna knock on the doors.
Roll the strength check.
This is gonna go great.
That might
18!
hurt.
Somehow.
All right. You take a point of damage as you pummel stone with your bare hands.
Ouch.
Anyone else trying anything else? Or are you guys standing at the doors looking at them?
Is there a door handle of some kind?
Yeah, I should have asked that first.
No. Let me see if I can find a good image of it. trying to see if I can get an image of it. But finding large stone doors isn't the easiest thing to do when, searches tend to think doors should be, non-stone.
I speak friend.
Do you?
And nothing.
In infernal.
Is
And
that
you
even a
pass
word
that.
in Infernal?
That's true. It
It's
really
a
means
deception
enemy.
check in Infernal.
Well, I can't find a good one. But yeah, so after a while standing there, you see the doors open, and you see this crew of people having their hands on this large container of earth, and they're moving with it towards the docks. It takes up the full space of the door. It's a good 20-foot wide, 20-foot high container. And so they're basically squeezing through the doorway to fit through.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
You guys are going to keep standing in the doorway?
No, we're gonna move
We'll
out
move
of the way.
Okay.
And
And we're gonna ask, is this Garganovic?
Gertvik,
This is not Gorgoninovic, or whatever you said.
Gertovic.
Gertovic is not here. It's on the other side.
okay. Which
Straight that way? Points up the road we came from. Can we see the other mountain from here?
Like, he looks really puzzled at you. Like, you're, like, not hearing or
I
listening.
point down.
No, the other side. You point what?
I point towards the ground.
No, the other side.
How do we
Yeah.
get to the other side?
You're not acolytes, obviously, by the way you dress. Let me see if I can get someone who's able to speak with you. Let us finish our task. Go and wait at the...
Okay.
Go and wait at the restrooms.
Thank you. I guess we'll go inside.
And
then.
where are those?
Yep.
He points you to a building. You go in, and
Okay.
it's a fairly nice tavern. And they have places where you can sit and partake in a meal or drink or acquire lodging if you're going to stay for a while.
I suppose we should define who's actually within this party right now. Besides Cookie and Baden.
That's
You know,
true.
probably would be important.
So who all wants to come?
I'd assume Yonovan
Yeah.
and Aerolith. And I guess Cleoc will be going. Kestra's not leaving the ship.
Okay.
Are we taking Nursil and or Squeaks?
Rio says squeaks.
Rio invited Squeaks to come along.
Alright.
Hmm.
Not a good. Nurso has to stay on the ship with group because this isn't a very
That's
good
true.
spot for him.
Well,
Since Donovan's hasn't made his sun lantern yet.
That's probably accurate.
Yep.
All right. Well, I suppose while we wait, we'll eat something. Don't know how long that guy will take.
So to confirm, the party consists of, let's say it one more time so everyone knows, or just put it in chat so we have a record of it. Just so we don't forget who's on deck this time around.
If that is incorrect, please let me know. But I posted the party in chat. Oh, I forgot. I need to edit this.
bad guy 1, bad guy 2, big guys, and little guys. All the extra ones. Does Aerolith have 2?
You can just put Aerolith.
I was doing that to be a little bit of a smart aleck. Arlith is
Oh, you can leave it then.
The class is a twin mind. So it's actually basically 2 bodies but 1 soul. So the hit points are like split between the 2 bodies.
Let me interrupt for just 1 second and then continue, Kleok. I need to quickly go read to the kid, and I will be right back in just a few moments.
Uh-huh.
Alright.
So it's not a official class, but there's enough out there that he's choosing to play it and see what it's like. So we've got Aerolith is a dragonborn twin mind. So it's 2 bodies but 1 soul. So one of them may be speaking and then the other one finishes the sentence.
Okay. That does sound creepy.
You know,
But my understanding of it is that I don't understand it at all, actually, because unfortunately, having split hit points and neither Aerolith having a high amount of hit points has meant that they've been
They go down easy.
knocked out relatively easy.
I was
so
gonna
far.
ask.
It's his Constitution score.
These dice are easy to stack.
you know, in Nate's larger campaign, he's been playing with some interesting sets of rules. And one of them involves the companion mechanic. There's a book that has a concept of a follower that doesn't have hit points per se, but they make saves against damage. And so many failed saves ends up the equivalent of taking the damage. Which is surprisingly close to the entire concept of the wounds and major hit points that Nate also did in that series.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it, really. I'm curious where, after a few years of playing with it, where we're going to end up.
You said 13. It was Airless Constitution. I'm glad Cleoc's constitution's 14 now. Yeah, I'm up to 48 hit points. I'm still less than basically everyone else in the party. Just by being kind of a frontline character.
Baden has 48 somehow. The Spellbinder is really an odd class. Because it has magic, but it has the hit points of a fighter. Doesn't have too much magic, though.
I came reasonably close to taking Magic Initiate just so I could get Cleoc Hex. Because Hex on a monk seems kind of like stupid.
That sounds like fun.
Cleoc's not multi-classing Warlock anytime soon.
Bayo needs dice, they're on the tablet.
The dice are stacking pretty well, in part because all of
It's
the
on the
figurines
grid.
on the table are probably snapping to the grid. So
Yep, they are. It's nice. If the dice are thrown, though, it loses that attribute. So trying to stack them right after throwing them typically falls over. Hmm.
It doesn't take much to ruin its
Nope.
balance.
Doesn't make to stand it back up, though, either.
Calculating the supply usage was interesting for this trip, because normally it would be 110 days, but we had 10 extra passengers.
Yeah, it's true.
So it was 140 days of supplies that we ate up.
Oh. That's rough.
Hey, is there anything uniquely Earth-like that you want to pick up in this joint? Like some metals or something, Yonovan?
Metal's always an interesting thing to pick up.
I mean, my elemental led me to this supply that had metals and clay and stuff. Might be able to look up that joint, see if something you like there.
Sure.
Shopping
No
trip.
reason not to.
We can probably only pay in gems, but we do have a sizable amount of those left.
Yep.
And I can buy raw ore. I don't need to buy refined things.
I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I can more or less buy their junk material.
That's true. But is anything junk to them?
So yes, I'd like to pick up some more ore. Or metal straight up.
So we are now approaching the ability to upgrade our ship some more.
And then be dirt poor again.
Possibly. We have enough gold to strip down the rigging. Or strip some of the hull plating off.
If you can find a place to do that.
Well, we found one place to do that.
You found one place that can do something.
Yes. It's my understanding we don't have a place that can do both of them. Just one of them. But
What was it that guy could do? Let's see.
being able to traverse faster would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Also help if we leveled up.
I think that would be more helpful.
Well, I had the info here, but now I'm not seeing it. I think it was sales or something that he was able to do, but there's one category that he was able to do. I remember that.
Yeah. Sounds right. Could help us with the rigging.
Ship maneuverability improvements.
Mm-hmm.
So he can do that improve maneuverability, not speed.
I understand that, but that is speed for us.
Potentially, yes.
You want to lay off the crew?
Oh,
What do you mean lay off the crew? We need more crew to go faster.
Well, Rio wants to get less crew. I don't know.
Because the crew are mouths to feed?
Probably.
All right, so onward. Where were we? Sorry about that.
We were waiting for someone to come talk to us and tell us where we were needed to go.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. I just had a thought a few days ago and I remembered it now. How many player characters are on our ship right now?
About 6.
No. Well, I mean, in our party, we had 6. We got another 6. And then we met a Detective Baden. Is that not right?
That's true. And Aldra.
Mm-hmm.
we're +2 from what we've got, from what we've had.
Well, that's good.
It's
So
14.
I'll need to adjust things because we're now at 50.
Although Aldra at this point is Baden's alt.
Yeah.
I understand, but the
Still a mouth to feed.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike group.
Keep in mind, you can
Aerosol doesn't
squeak.
eat.
Well, he does eat just little.
Like 3 beans.
I don't know. We can hand wave a little bit of it, but I'm trying to do my best to keep up with it.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just going to say that Squeaks and Nursil together would be basically count as one ration, or one person's worth of food and water.
Mm-hmm.
Squeaks is smaller, so he requires half as much as the others. And Nursil's type, his species, race, only requires half as much.
And Aerolith
Sure,
is twice as much.
But airless.
That That is true. But I'm just saying that so it's aware that for calculations, if airlift seems to be off at some point, then the food consumption would go down if you're just considering them. But, like you said, wherever airlift is, yes, you would need to have double the food.
Well, my apologies, Cookie. If I had been smart, I would have asked to get leveled up to level 15 automatically, so I could have had Timeless Body, in which Cleoc wouldn't need to eat anymore. My apologies.
I'd rather you take 5 levels in cleric and just make us food.
I'm not going to lie, I have considered, if I were to multi-class Cleoc, it'd probably be to Cleric.
What if we just
All
hired a
right.
cleric for our journeys?
I'm sorry. We're distracted. We need to try and find...
Well, just
the
quickly
thing.
on that. Clerics are completely acceptable and viable, just you need to be cautious about your selection because you only have full power in the spheres that worship your deity.
Okay. Good to know.
You have to have the connection to your worship.
Alright. Let's talk to people and figure out where we can go and where we can't go.
So, after a nice long wait, this elderly gentleman comes in to the bar that you're in. A bar, inn, tavern. Restrooms, take your pick for a term. And he looks at Cookie. Heard you were wishing to speak with us about something.
Yes. We came here to, on a mission to rescue some, come on, guys. Seriously, I was...
We received a... We found a bill in a town in a different sphere that had mentioned that a settlement here named
Gerdevik?
Gerdevik was in potential peril, and we had come here in response to that. What can you tell us about Gerdevik?
Let me recall here. Dwarven settlement. Located. Don't remember offhand. I had not heard they were having problems of the sort there, but if they are, then they might seek assistance since they are not on good terms with us.
This was approximately 130 days ago as well, so it's possible that due to the travel time, plus the whatever travel time it takes to actually get the bill posted, so it's possible that whatever problems they've had have been resolved, or in one way or the other.
Why are you not on good terms with them right now?
Yeah, roll a diplomacy. Persuasion.
I am not good at this, but
You're talking.
I
It's
am
all right.
talking. Eight. That -1 charisma mod, you. should have brought Doran.
So, he sits there thinking whether he should trust you in your apparent searching for this place that they're not exactly favorable towards. And he says, if you can convince them to leave and cease their activities, we would certainly be willing to help you there. If that is not your wish, then I merely can point you in the right direction.
What are they doing that you disapprove of, sir?
What it is dwarves do.
Mining
and
for
mining
minerals?
recklessly. They feel they can take all they wish without concern or remorse.
Before we talk with them, would you be open to being paid for what they take?
No,
Okay.
it is not theirs to take. It is not ours to be paid for.
I wonder if they dug up something they shouldn't have.
Well, everything they dug up they shouldn't have. That is, these...
Well, based on the bill that we received, it appeared that they may have dug up some, maybe a crypt or something, if they're being attacked by undead.
That is true.
We fight for the living.
we would... Yeah. Yonovan? Do you think we can convince them to leave?
Ah.
How likely
By all
are
rights,
dwarves,
we should.
Donovan, how likely are dwarves to want to give up a resource outpost?
Give up. What is this? What is this phrase?
But it is not theirs. They may feel they own it.
It's not likely.
But
At best, we could only perhaps convince them to.
We could maybe convince half, in which case it would surely be overthrown.
we could try.
We could certainly ask, but I'm not certain that's a promise that we can force them to keep.
Is there anything, like, you say they take what is not theirs to take? Can you explain, like, are they just taking all minerals and everything and not respecting what they do? And if they had better respect, that would
No, he
change.
already said they wouldn't pay for it.
Well, we saw we saw a shipment leaving here. And so basically I want to ask, what's different about what they're doing compared to what they are? The dwarves compared to the Eartherns, Terrans.
We sell that which we produce for trade for things we need, and
Okay.
to have artifacts to acolytes. And we only take what is needed.
Whereas they're taking as much as they can.
I mean, yeah.
So the dwarven druids. Got it. That was out of character, by the way.
You mean the dwarves against druids?
Yeah, because it's the dwarves are taking everything they can, and the druids are not.
Yeah.
I was more referring to the group that we're speaking to are dwarven druids.
They're not all
They-
dwarves. The guys you're talking to, some of the group you've seen has some, there are some dwarves, but there's other races as well, humans and plain
Are they
touch.
like full humans, or are they mixed?
Some are mixed. You've seen a number of moles or mules.
Well, I don't think we can promise to get the dwarves to leave. At the very least, we can ask them.
We need some kind of
Incentive?
no. Well, the incentive, not that. We need some kind of authorization to say that we are representatives of these people and they are the rightful owners of the land and we are evicting these others. Right?
Clear upon hearing that, Cleoc pulls Cookie aside and says, "Do we even? We don't have proof of that. I don't even think we should get involved with a dispute like this without knowing the other side."
Hmm.
It is not a reference to land that can be owned or not owned.
This will land for. Hmm.
To exist
Yeah.
and persist.
Our response to the guide would be that we don't know enough to get involved yet.
And yet you seek them out to get involved.
We have a bill that says that they're in potential peril. We, based on what they have described, it could be. It's certainly possible that whatever misfortune has befallen them may also
Come seek you out as well.
come seek you out as well, based on the description.
Interesting, as it has not.
Hmm.
At the very least, you ask us to try and force them to stop, to force them to leave, and I'm not certain we have both the manpower nor without starting a war.
I did not speak of strength of arms. I spoke of persuade them to leave. The means you pick is up to you.
Are we agreed to try?
We can attempt it, but we can't promise that we'll have results if our persuasions do not succeed.
Very well. I can point you in the direction. Equip yourself with a good caster, and you can travel there. You simply need to know the proper spell and have the proper ingredients.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we get told what those are? Out of character.
Did you ask?
Yes. What
What
have different
ingredients or
magics.
spell is it?
Are you not first in the arcane? You have no one who's first?
We have several first in different flavors. We don't all know the same things.
Yes, we have someone versed in the arcane. And I look down at Squeak.
Is there something you'd like me to say to him, Cleoc?
Well, you've been listening to this.
I do not believe I have that level of spells that I can cast.
He's offering to teach you. Are you willing to learn?
It's not a matter of willingness to learn or not. It's a degree of experience.
So the spell is too great for us.
From what
We
I
don't know that.
gather, he's not referring to so much a location that you're thinking of, but a larger spectrum of locations.
English, please.
Interdimensional travel?
There are many locations. You have, as you know, many spheres. Now, the spheres are all their own dimensions, or planes, or aspects. However, there's multiple other
Iterations.
aspects, and oftentimes those are another means of connecting between the spheres than just the spheres themselves. So going from one plane to another and back, if you know the right way to do so, could wind up in a different sphere.
Wow.
So we need a plane shift.
So let me get this straight. There's a way to get there that will take magic too strong for us to cast, and our other alternative is to maybe promise to help this guy and he'll do it for us. But our promise was not strong enough, so he is not doing it for us.
But you did state to the guy that you didn't know if you would be willing to do so. That doesn't mean a statement of, yeah, we'll help you, or not. It's a,
Statement of unsure of
so
ability.
he took it as a statement.
I see.
I don't think I want to say anything stronger than an statement. I don't want to
It's okay.
promise to force these guys off,
You don't have to.
whatever means necessary.
But if we accept this guy's help to get to a place we can't get to ourselves, how do we get back?
Oh boy.
That's a risk I don't want to take.
We get a new ship.
Are none of us capable of what he needs to teach?
If Squeaks is
I
not,
don't know if you
we
ever
are not.
get to that level of spell.
What?
What level is it?
7.
Yeah, no.
Warlocks can get the 7th level spells.
He's not a warlock.
Oh.
He's a wizard.
Yeah.
Yonavan is a half-wizard.
Yep.
How does someone who can
Half
cast
wizard,
such a
half
powerful
paladin.
magic need our help?
You know what?
There
They're
is
not
other
allowed.
ways.
Artifacts and stuff.
You asked a very important question there. this might be beyond our capacity to
You have
take
the
on.
feeling he prefers some non-violent approach, and apparently dwarves don't always heed a non-violent approach.
Yeah, but we're not very likely to want to try a violent approach against dwarves.
Yep.
Agreed. But the arguments they can put forth may not be the same as what you put forth.
We're wasting our
thing
time
is-
here. Let's go.
Okay.
I will put this out as, if you speak with Squeaksmore, he'll inform you. The other means of transit between the planes is through portals, or through barriers between the planes where they touch. Those exist and
But-
tend to be places where that plane's essence is felt strongly.
So deep in the mines.
There are Spelljammer spells like Create Portal that may be able to, if we left this sphere and poked around it some more, we might find another entrance to it.
Create portal is to create a portal in a sphere, not a portal to a plane.
Okay.
I thought I'd clarify that for you.
I think you're right, Cleoc. We probably are wasting our time here because it is unlikely that we can offer dwarves anything other than raw resources, and why would they give up a resource-producing location for anything we could offer them? Other than a "we'll save you if you leave" offer. In which case we'll forgo any reward they would have given us in order to get that. Sound about right?
Yeah. The only thing we can do is try and end the undead threat, which I don't know if we can do. Which is
Which
our
is another
original
oddity.
mission.
Because undead
This is what I would
and Earth plane don't tend to go together.
propose we talk to this fellow. I would propose we basically tell him that there's little that we could do to convince dwarves to leave something that they've found like this, other than to offer them a "if we save you, you must leave" deal. In which case we'll forgo any reward that we came here to get, and we'll need some sort of compensation to keep flying to our next sphere. If he's willing to offer us one. Does that sound good to you guys?
That seems reasonable.
That's fair.
Sure.
I'll
Part
pass
of me
that.
is wondering how the bill got through if the only way to access is through their portal without super high level magic.
That's
Well,
good.
Part of that is that we didn't actually speak to any sort of broker or anything on it, so we have very little information about this bill, other than where we were supposed to head for it and the name.
Okay. So I think this is pretty much our best plan here. So I communicate that message to the man who came to us.
I believe we would be able to come up with some sort of compensation for your actions if you're able to remove them.
We will do our best to remove them. We definitely, if we accept your help to get there, we need to get back, and we lack the ability to.
Indeed. You should be able to get out through a number of locations, including the one I bring you through. Come with me.
Okay. We'll
He
follow him.
leads you into the mountain, and he gives you all, as you enter the doors, he gives you all a glowing thread and hands it to each of you and says, "Be sure to not let go of this."
Can we hold on to it? Can we wear it on our person? Do we
It's
have
a
to
thread, you
hold
just
it?
hold it. You can do however you wish, just ensure that you have it. And the doors close
Forever?
behind, and it is pitch black. Those who
I
have
find this thread around my wrist.
those who have dark vision can see half as far because it is just absolute darkness,
Cool.
Wow, it is dark
devoid of
down
light.
here.
However, you do see little areas where people have some sort of glowing essence similar to this thread that seem to be that they're doing things by. He leads you through the tunnels, a number of different directions, um, and elevations. Yonovan, you're probably the only one who can detect it. Are you a normal mountain dwarf, like mountain living dwarf, or are you a surface dwarf that you really haven't lived underground? Yonovan?
Oops, I muted my mic to talk to you. Thought it was muted since I'm downstairs cooking. Let me check to see if it was hill or mountain dwarf specifically.
It's more like even hill dwarves technically a lot of times live underground, depending on the setting. So it's more in your background, did you see Yonovan living in a clan underground or just a surface?
Definitely a mixture of both because the fortress that we've traveled to previously was very native to me, carving stuff out of rock.
Okay. Then yeah, you're feeling kind of right at home under
Yeah,
the
mountain
mountain,
dwarf.
and you notice you've been going for quite a ways, but you're also gone down quite a ways.
Feels good, man.
In fact, hours go by,
Oh boy.
Can I activate my
and
light source?
do you
Do I hear a
choose to or
drumming
do you
source?
ask?
I ask.
Not within these halls, please. I will let you know when you are able.
Interesting.
After a while, you feel a strange energy.
Oh boy.
In Aerolith, at this point, you lose all connection from your other part for a split second, which is the most unnerving, unsettling feeling you've ever had. And then Kliaki turns to you. You may use your light now. Just,
Is it still pitch black in here?
oh yeah.
I activate
The,
the
the, the
command
air
word on
almost
my.
feels dusty here, like it's almost, it's like palpable now. Almost like it's stale air.
And I activate the command word on my floating little ball of light.
He's like, before you do that, he's like, and it is customarily polite to state that you're going to do so before you do.
I'm going to activate my magical light source, if that is okay.
And you hear a number of other voices. And you do so. You notice there is 4 other individuals standing not far from you. And behind them, there is this... It almost looks like it's moving earth that has carvings around it.
An entity of some kind, or
You don't know. It looks like it's an area with some carvings, and within that carved area, it looks like the very earth and rock itself is just moving.
huh?
That's weird. I asked, like, is this the portal?
Is it moving in a synthetic,
It is.
manufactured machine way, or is it like it's
No.
living?
No, it's almost like a mirage sort of movement.
Okay. Interesting. So that's the portal.
Some sort of energy.
I'll ask, do we need to keep this thread on us to come back through the portal?
No, I will bring it with me.
Okay. The thread's just to help us get through the tunnels?
To make sure you do not get lost.
I appreciate that.
You notice now that he's put a blindfold on before the light came on. And you notice the other 4 here have blindfolds on.
Interesting.
Huh?
They don't like light.
Light hampers the senses.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Which way do we go to leave?
He points
Or
back
see?
to the moving earth. You come here and let one of these 4, or similar if you find others, let them know that you seek to return through, and they will get one of us to bring you back through.
Oh,
And who should
Thank
we
you.
ask for? Or...
Just inform them you wish to return to the docks.
Alright. Thank you for your help in getting us through.
He's like, let me continue on with you a little ways longer so you may know where you're actually going.
okay.
So after another...
Awesome,
Clea,
appreciate that.
maybe you should turn that light off.
After another hour of travel, you come to this large cavern, and he points across the way to this area that has a number of little buildings. There's a chasm between the two. He's like, the town you're speaking of is there. You see a number of fires and houses and lights on the other side of this chasm.
Chasm.
Yes. It's
How
like
do we...
a huge cave.
Is the air fresher?
Not really.
So still stale.
You think this is air?
You think it's air that you're breathing? It's like, and this is where we part ways. Good luck. And he turns and heads back the way he came.
Awesome.
You are now on the elemental plane of Earth to do what it is you wish to do.
Holy crap, we're actually on the plane of Earth now.
Plane doesn't.
And then
I
we
could see
find
why they're mad that someone's mining stuff from the elemental plane of Earth.
I can understand that. have a feeling they might have
Isn't-
come in through a different portal.
Isn't there some kind of deity in charge of this place?
What do you think?
Evidently not.
Do you roll a religion check?
Yeah, I do.
Silly question. Cookie, as a native of I guess Faerun, are you even aware of planes?
I'm a dabbler. I dabble. Who knows what I know? That's
I'm
a
just waiting to
13.
find. Now, all we need to do is find a portal that takes us to Sigil. I mean,
Sigil.
yeah. It'll quit being Spelljammer and turn into Planescape campaign instead.
Well, those two tend to not be too far apart at times.
I'm aware of that. That we're on the elemental plane of Earth. Cleoc does not like this place.
It's kind of the antithesis of flying. Can you even fly here?
It
There's a
gives
giant chasm in front of us.
it,
Imagine he feels
this
claustrophobic.
place creeps Cleoc out, and he's really wishing that he had stayed on the ship now.
I don't blame
Sounds
him.
about right.
But he's about to be very helpful in us, helping us get across this chasm.
I am curious how
Hopefully.
Aerolith is feeling, seeing as this is the first time she's ever felt totally detached from her other half.
Okay, so what do we see?
You made that sound like it was a temporary thing, not a.
Oh, it was temporary, but still, that's probably
It's
a
still a
quite
feeling.
unnerving feeling.
Just
Kinda
like
like
anyone who's ever had their soul
Cleoc probably
sucked out
feels
and put
the
in a
heaviest
jar.
he's ever felt.
There's a couple on the party that are aware of that.
So what you see is a few tunnels and endless earth. No sky, just earth.
Okay.
Good to know.
And we see buildings across the chasm.
You can make out that they're man-made objects by their shape, so it's not like you can clearly see buildings, but you can tell it's buildings or other sentient-made constructs.
Okay. And of course, there's no other lights around besides us. Or is that why we can make out the constructs?
He did mention fires or lights of some kind.
There are some lights over there that you see, yes. Just, it's across the chasm. Other
Okay.
lights? No.
And the tunnels are all pitch black?
Yep.
Okay, so a chasm implies there's a big hole in the ground, right?
A large
Yes.
space, both above and below, between you and them.
All right.
About how far across?
Think like the Great Canyon.
Okay.
With, you have space on either side, it looks like. That then has, rock behind it, but in between there's this large fissure in between the two sides.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So Cleac would get tired if he tried to carry all of us across.
I can't carry all of us across.
Well, not even
There's
one
at
at a
least
time.
there's at least one of us that, well, I guess you do have that
Carry
umbrella.
Squeaks.
Oh wait, Saradin's not here. Earl is here.
You can carry half of
Half
Aerolith
of
at a
Aerolith.
time.
Guys, is there any bridge? Can we look for a bridge?
Wow, that's the smartest thing I've heard in a while.
Well, I have a question. How do you intend to look for a bridge? You can only see as far as Cleoc's light goes.
Well, we'll walk the edge of the chasm, looking for a bridge.
Does
Okay.
dark vision, does his light extend the distance dark vision works?
It does extend it a little bit, yes.
Okay, so Baden and I think Cleoc both have 120 feet. Normally. Does that still hold true?
How far does your light reach, Cleoc?
Oh. It's the light cantrip.
I'd say it's probably acts as a light cantrip, yes.
I think it's 30 and 30 bright and dim.
Okay, then yes, you're back out to 120 feet.
Okay.
Let's hold there for tonight, guys.
Actually, hold on. That would be for, what's her name?
Hmm?
Who'd you say has dark vision? Baden and
Cleoc.
Cleoc.
Cleoc does not have
Cleoc
dark
doesn't.
No,
vision.
he doesn't?
No.
Oh.
I'm an air cocker.
Baden, you actually didn't have your night vision hampered because yours
Yanavision
is
has.
due to a plane without light as well.
Oh, Rio can see.
Hmm?
Ryu's
Rio
was
can
hampered.
see, Yanovan can see.
So,
Yeah, what do you see, Ryu?
Ryu can see the full
Oh,
range
yeah.
now that there's some light.
Yeah.
so Baden's dark vision does or does not work?
Baden's works
Okay.
because yours is from another plane with no light.
Right. Yep. Makes sense.
The ethereal plane has something that's supposedly light, but not really any light.
Shadowfell is pretty dark.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everything's in tones of grays there, and so
Dark
it's,
vision's
yeah.
like all the time. It's like colors. What's
There's
this?
not really a sun. If there's a sun, it's this gray thing that supposedly gets light. That doesn't actually. It's more of just an illusion.
Wow.
Okay.
So,
It's an interesting perspective.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will pick up there next week, where you guys
Cool.
are now on the elemental plane of Earth. So much for sphere hopping. Now you're doing plane hopping.
All in a day's hop.
Anything else before we call it a night?
All I know is that I had known that we were going here, I would have got Doran because a dark vision.
Doran's dark vision would only be half as effective, and you wouldn't have Cleoc's light for everyone.
That's
I mean,
fair.
there's still torches, but yeah. Because we
Speaking
don't
of
have
which,
Nurso either for
correct, for light. Speaking of which, you need to mark down what you brought for provisions and resources, because you're now cut off from resources until further notice. So, fun! I'll see you guys next week!
All right. Sounds good.